And gentlemen, you're watching GEEKCASTER, everything sci-fi, fantasy, and pop culture commentary. I'm Michael. We've got in the studio today
Dayveonne Bussey,
Wes Clark,
Correa.
Alrighty, so this is great, guys. So we had a good conversation, and we might slip things in there with this part 2 of the producers talking about how to become a PA and what works in different situations on set. But we have to stop that kind of short because the movie that's been awaiting, the movie that had a lot of problems, issues, things changing around, dealing with COVID, dealing with someone passing away, the lead star. The only movie I could be talking about is Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. Dayveonne, I think you saw this film first, so I'll let you start, because I think you saw the preview, right? Was it a preview you saw?
No, I saw it on Sunday.
You did see it on Sunday? Mm-hmm. Oh, that was another movie you saw the preview.
Yeah, that was Black Adam.
Gotcha. And we need to talk about
the other
that.
Black.
Yeah, and the other Black. So, what did you think about Wakanda Forever, Dayveonne?
I love how they did the tribute.
Okay.
It is an emotional roller coaster.
Mm-hmm.
I want to say, Namor, give that man his roses.
Okay.
And Shuri as Black Panther, I already knew that was going to happen.
Right.
She did a good job. But Angela Bassett, oh my God!
Well,
She better get an Oscar. She better get an Oscar for her performance.
Okay. Franklin, what's your take on Wakanda Forever?
Alright, I'll keep mine brief. I didn't think I was gonna like it. I thought it was gonna be dumpster juice, but it actually wound up being probably in my top Marvel films. You know what I'm saying? I'm glad they took their time doing it. The stunt and the fights in the movie were done really good. The CGI was on point, especially under all the underwater stuff. My man who plays Submariner, not Neymar, Submariner. My man is the truth. He needs to have his own movie or his own web series because that man did justice. It is a women empowerment movie that we all know, and there is some other stuff in there that I'm not going to talk about right now. But overall, great movie. There's certain things that I don't want to get spoiled, people. So I'm not gonna say anything. But you can't beat the first movie. That's all I'm gonna say.
Mm-hmm.
But hands down, everybody should go see it, and everything was great. And it is a tearjerker in 2 scenes for me.
Mm-hmm. And
and I'm done.
And that was a short version.
Yeah. I think also it was a solid. I give Ryan Coogler credit for being able to pull all this together and be able to, overcome the adversity. At the same time, be able to tell a full story and set up other stories for the MCU as well. So he was able to kind of accomplish 3 major things above that. And what they're saying about Namor, what I think what really he did turn out for it. He kind of brought that spirit of Namor by being very conscious and careful of his people, right? But at the same time, he still had that jerkness about Namor, the arrogance and the jerkiness about him. He's kind of like a douche, you know what I mean? But but arrogant. What can I offer you? Nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like he was like, it's like, what can I offer you for you to change your mind about what you want to do?
Right.
Nothing. So I thought it was good performances all the way around. Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah. Yeah.
Excellent. Yeah, I don't even know it's worth saying my 2 cents. But I would say for all the challenges,
it is.
for all the challenges that this man
Jeez.
faced as a director,
Yeah.
Ryan, I applaud you just because you had a direction, and not only to change that, but there had to have been even let's pretend he wasn't friends with Chad, like they weren't close, but still, this project that you risen to the highest heights as a director, as far as like you have culture, community, as well as fans, and I think a lot of people don't get that. It's I think half of that would have happened anyway, regardless. But on top of that, you did a great job. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah. 100%.
You know, so
100%.
so kudos to that. There are a slew of things I don't like about the film. So I'm definitely not a writer. I don't even Black Panther 1. I was like, from day one, I'm like, I like it, but because this is what I do. This is my job, critique, whatever like that. I would like to delve into some of the things that were, I guess you could say, home runs, and some of the things that might be in question. So maybe at this point in the conversation, this might be open doors to spoilers. So if that's the case, you could stop watching right now and watch the rest later.
Go to the kids' room. Go to the children's room, ladies and gentlemen.
Go to the kids' table. So
Come back and watch the replay.
Yeah. So the adding the feathered serpent was a real folklore, a real story. If you believe, depending on what your faith is, a real person. So as soon as I saw the trailer, I was like, oh my goodness, this is someone that I researched, that I'm like totally fascinating. I mean, the particular character was, in many regards, compared to, or sometimes called, an avatar of Jesus. This particular. So I was like, to put that with Submariner, I thought that was super interesting, and like.
Remember, that's what his people. That's how his people saw him. That's what his people called him.
Right.
So that he was their Jesus, so to speak.
That's
he was
true.
kind of like that
because he brought new life into a chance to live for the community, as well as protected them.
Yeah.
Right. So I thought that was
protected them. He lived a long time. Remember that? You know, he's very old.
Right.
So.
And then
he's stronger than the Hulk and Thor.
Exactly. They say they call him Cuckoo God.
Kukulkan,
Kukulkan. So, and then something, Wes, you can take it from here because you mentioned this earlier. Just as far as Shuri, the new Black Panther, how she really won based on technology versus skill, because she wasn't
strength and skill,
right, because she wasn't Black Panther long enough, to have ultimate
long
skill.
enough. And I thought,
you could take it from there.
I give that once again, I give that credit to Brian Coogler. He pointed out, in a way, he recognized that she has not been the Black Panther for a long time. She's not even like a super warrior fighter, but you know, she did take the heart-shaped herb, so she has the enhanced abilities, strength and agility. However, she was getting her butt handed to her in that fight against Namor, and rightfully so. And I love that he chose that she defeats him basically through technology, not through just her brute strength and ability.
Right.
Yeah, she used her real strength, which is her technology, to defeat him. You know what I mean? And I thought that was smart way to go because I think people would have picked it off if she was just this awesome fighter out of nowhere. And you could tell she had the skill, but if you think about the fight, all her good shots were like cheap shots. You know what I mean? Like shot down low, ripped off his wing.
That's what they paralyzed him when she broke the wing on his ankle.
Right, put the ring on his ankle and a little scratch here and this that. So it was like, okay, she's scrapping. He's fighting and she's scrapping.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So and then she decided to hit him with the the technology that hit him and really kind of defeated him. So I give Coogler credit for not getting too anxious because anybody could have got a little too anxious and wanted to say, hey, let's make sure he do a million flips and now she's Spider-Man, you know what I mean? It's like, nah, they didn't do that, and I thought that was cool.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I thought that was cool. I accept that.
So
Namor looked great though.
Yeah, he looked great. So Dayveonne, was there anything that stood out that you didn't like about the film?
I'm gonna say this. What did I didn't like? I really liked everything. I just felt that they should have brought another character in that they were supposed to, but they didn't.
Right.
Like you down the low, cause
I know who you're talking about. Yeah.
Who was it? Who cares? Who was it?
He's talking about Doom. He's got to be talking about.
I was waiting for Doom.
He's talking about Doom. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I agree with you. But Doom's a Fantastic Four villain. You're not gonna see him until the Fantastic Four.
No, right. I was waiting for him to show up in the end credit.
Yeah, like an end credit. Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if they, I definitely wouldn't have been surprised if they did that, but they didn't. One other thing I wanted to point out, I know I'm gonna tell you what I didn't like either, but one thing I did want to point out, once again, I give credit to Coogler. What he did, you notice how in these a lot of these movies, and I think it's something that's forced by the producers a lot of the time, where if it's let's just say a black minority, whatever led film, you have to have what they quote unquote call the white savior, right? So Ryan Coogler did not do that with this movie, where he did do it with the first movie with Everett Ross, and in this one Everett Ross was in it, but he just kind of was just in it. He wasn't really he didn't become right. He was he was more like the helper, and he owed them his life or whatever. And I'm just saying, like, that happens. Or they even did that with the Harriet movie. You know what I mean? The Harriet Tubman movie. Then they make like the slave owner helped her. It's just like, what? So, but I think it's forced by the producers, to kind of be like, listen, we don't want it to look like it's a anti-white movie, so they would put that like that. Right? Yeah. They're like, so let's tone it down a little bit. Don't want it, and it's not. It is not that. It's not an anti-white movie, but I'm just saying that's why they throw that in there. So I just wanted to.
But it is anti-colonialism.
Yeah. Colonizer. And they still called him the colonizer.
Yeah. And it is.
And to be honest with y'all, when I was in the theater, and this is funny, there was a lot of Caucasian people that was there, and they basically was like, "Why is he there?" I'm like, "What?"
Bro, in the 70s we had the token black, so we gotta have the token white here in 2022.
Yeah.
There it goes.
Man. It's gotta go in there.
And this is what people saying this.
But he is from the comics, so I have no problem with him being.
Yeah, I mean, as far as villain wise, I would have preferred Doom or something different, just because Killmonger and Namor pretty much same personality, same issue, same way of attacking solutions, same anger. which is nice to see. Again, someone that loves history. I like the bending and the putting that with the backstory of the comics. I like the fact that you just showed Black and Latino people realize that we should work together. We have the common enemy of colonialism, right? Within our, you know, facing that towards the culture, but that was kind of said before. I just feel it would have been nice to have a villain to have a different sentiment, if that makes sense.
Like,
no, I agree. You know, Doom is more like world domination type of. I mean, I think ultimately, even with Kang being in this MCU, I believe Doom is going to be the Thanos of this next phase. I think he's going to be the big baddie of the next phase because they're going to have Secret Wars, and if you're a fan of the comics, you know the Secret Wars. Doom was part of that. He was running that with the battle world, you know what I mean? So it was like Doom who was in charge of that. So I think ultimately they're going to set him up to be the Thanos of this phase of, you know, stuff. Even over Kang, I believe at the end of the day, Doom's going to find a way to kill Kang. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
So
Kang,
maybe they
Kang
just
is supposed to be in 3 or 4 films already.
He's definitely going to be in
as well as the 2 or 3 series
shows.
So that would be interesting to Kang Doom. That would be great.
Doom.
That would be great. Because you know what?
Yeah.
That would build up, you know, like, you know, if Darth Vader is a bad dude and he takes out all these people, then all of a sudden there's a new guy that comes up that takes out Darth Vader. You kind of build up that character even without building him up, right? Because whoever's the baddest will be there. So,
but my question is, who y'all think is going to be playing Victor Von Doom?
I don't know, man. I
know. From what I knew, they shot it already. That's why I'm disappointed because I heard it was Ryan Gosling, and he was supposed to show up at the end of the credits. So, and he wasn't going to be Victor Von Doom yet. Right. He was supposed to show up as a scientist, Victor Von Doom, at the end of the credits, and then they changed it up. And I'm like, yo, I hope ending because that would be bananas. I want to see it with my own eyes. That's why I was so mad at the end of that movie.
Yeah, I mean, maybe. Damn, I really don't want it to be Ryan Gosling, but you know, if
God, no, because he already got a movie coming out next year.
No
matter. You already know the movie.
I
can picture him playing Victor Von Doom.
Oh yeah, Barbie. He's Ken, right?
He did do. He's Ken. What was it? Gray? Was it the Gray Man that he did?
Yo, that was fire. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah.
So I think that was a film that was shot. That was his audition to prove he could do action stuff and be taken. They did a great job of it. I just don't buy him as that. I
would have wanted, honestly, and I don't normally do the whole switching thing, but I would have wanted Giancarlo Esposito. That's who I would have wanted to play Doom. I think he would have been an awesome Doom. Because he's got that intelligence, and he's got that. He can get to that craziness. Yeah, he's got the intelligence to play Doom, and he can really just click. He can hit that switch.
One of my favorite actors.
But he don't have the body to play.
No. Well, yeah, I mean, I guess so. I guess not. You know?
Like, I only see him playing as what's his name? Oh, Professor X. Like a new.
I don't like him as Professor X. That's the funny thing. I don't like him as Professor X. Maybe Magneto, not Professor X. I don't like him as a good guy. I like him as a villain. I think he just performs better as a villain. You know,
because they did say they don't know.
Maybe even Mr. Sinister. That would be kind of cool.
No,
that would be interesting.
No, you wouldn't know what would be funny for them to cast? It wouldn't be funny. I'll be like shocked if they cast Keanu Reeves as Mr. Sinister.
I would be shocked too. I'd be shocked. He should play like Ghost Rider or something like that. That's
Well,
what he should.
he's
play.
supposed, he's supposed to
Johnny
be
Blaze.
he's supposed to be a Sith in the Star Wars universe.
Is he? Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. So
I can see that.
So yeah. All right.
That could be
I'm
his
gonna play
audition.
this. We're gonna keep it moving because we're gonna run out of time, and I gotta get this from you guys. I played this. Let's see. So
I just love seeing Wakanda Forever, and I'm pissed. I am pissed because if Pushing an Agenda was a movie, this would be in the forefront of that.
So this young lady says that Wakanda Forever pushes the agenda of basically de-emasculating men. There are no prominent men in this particular film, and she was very disappointed because of that. And do you guys agree with that? That
I mean, for me, somewhat. Like I said, I knew it was going in. With Kit Chadwick being gone, they had nowhere else to turn. So I knew they were going to go with the women empowerment type thing.
right?
I don't think they were trying to demasculine anything. I just think that I think Ryan saw potential in working what he had and focused on making the women, show their skills and how good they really are, protect their culture. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So I mean, I agree to a certain extent with her, and that's as far as I go with that. I don't think there's no demasculizing, but I just think that he did what he did to keep the movie going, and it worked. It worked. I mean, because I really can't stand the women empowerment type stuff, but for this movie, it totally worked, and he played it from all points of view, and I thought it was great. So whatever she's saying, okay, yeah, man. Yeah, I can't say what porqueria means in English, but still.
You know what? I know, Wes, you have a perfect answer to that, so I'll pass it to you. But I could see where people are coming from because you had you had Ironheart. If you didn't have Ironheart in there as well, if you didn't, you know what I mean? Even just taking out Ironheart would not have hit people in the head, female, you know what I mean? Like, I think Ironheart was too much. I understand why they did it, but I think it was too much for this film.
Yeah, she was.
I
think she was supposed to be the comic relief.
But I mentioned that before, and I agree. I'll be brief with it. I talked to you about this off camera. I just think the young lady's a little misinformed, and I think she's just not really getting where the source material of this comes from. And I believe that I questioned if she even saw the first film after the way she ranted like that.
Right.
So all of this stuff is rooted in the source material. He didn't just decide to say, I want to just make everyone female because I want to show female empowerment. No, that's how it's written in the source material. It's been that way.
Right.
So I felt that, she was coming from, I understand where some of these films do force that on us.
Right.
But she has, to me, there's no case here. Ryan Coogler is a comic fan, and he respects the source material. And that's how it was written however many years ago when Black Panther first came out in the comic books. So, and like I said, when I first talked about Ryan Coogler, he also was tasked to setting up someone else's arcs, which was Riri Williams, who was going to have her own show, and he set her up too. So I don't think this was a case of we have to take advantage of woman power, because this is just the way it is. It's always been that way with Black Panther. So I actually questioned that she even saw the first movie. Wow. And she compared to The Woman King, which is a completely different movie.
Right.
The Woman King is based on something that's like real life, right? This is a comic book. It's based off the comic book.
Right.
Yeah. So I didn't like what she said about it. Really, I didn't really agree with anything that she said about this particular movie. Maybe in general, yeah, they try to force a lot on you, but I thought it was dumb for her to say, "Oh, it should be called Where Are the Men?" What are you talking about?
Did y'all pick up on that LGBT a little bit in there? Because I just
yeah. It was. Yeah.
Definitely.
It was. Why? You know what I'm saying?
You knew it was coming, but they didn't go crazy with it.
They didn't go crazy with it. They didn't go crazy.
It was definitely there that you like, oh boy. Like,
but don't you think? But don't you think in reality though, something like that probably would occur?
I think so.
They're all women working together and all in there. I mean, it's very possible.
Someone's gonna.
At least he didn't lean into it too much. It was really
subtle.
If you blink your eye, you miss it.
It was subtle. It was subtle. It was very subtle, but you picked it up when she kissed her on the foot. When she kissed her on top of her head and was rubbing her back and shit.
He said, thank you, my darling, or my love, or something like that, and then that was it.
But you know what? I respect the fact that could just be... If your mind went there, then that's what that was. If your mind didn't go there, then that wasn't that at all.
Right.
Exactly, because it wasn't forced. It wasn't forced. It was just... It was subtle.
Well,
so you can take it.
What was forced?
Yeah, or what was false? Exactly. Right, exactly. It just was. Exactly. It was just there.
Keyword. Wait. Exactly. Listen, everybody. What was forced?
Exactly. Nothing.
No.
No.
Let's move on. No, let's move on.
Okay.
You trying to
Why you
kill it?
Why you always want to cut it off?
Because you want to extend it too long. It's a half-an-hour show. All right, so last one more minute of this. Greatest moment, worst moment.
In the film?
In the film. Greatest moment, worst moment.
I think the greatest moment was... man, I liked a lot about it, but honestly, I think one of the greatest moments was when Namor was flying, like when they was really that battle, like when he flooded Wakanda and he's flying around, and I thought that was really cool. The fact that they showed him use his leg to turn and pivot in midair, like it was really cool. The way they did it, that was one of the greatest moments of the film.
And worst moment?
Worst moment, spoiler alert, the death of Queen Ramonda.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
that was the worst moment.
Gotcha.
Greatest moment, when Namor punched my boy in the chest.
That's what I was gonna say too.
Spoiler alert, he punched my boy in the chest and he was like, oh, and that's when he say that he is cuckoo caca.
Yo. Bruh.
And
he was
moment?
like, oh, it's the bitch.
And we're running out of time. And worst moment?
Sorry. I would say introducing Riri Williams.
Oh, interesting. Franklin, greatest moment, worst moment?
Okay. Great spot, just what he just said. I agree. He did the reverse block and did a punch and broke my man's chest cave right open, knocking him back, stunned him. And that was a great moment. Worst moment, I agree. When the queen died, I had to shed a tear, man. Yeah. I wasn't expecting that to come on.
Yeah. I think there's a bunch, but I would have to piggyback that the queen dying was the worst moment. Greatest moment? That's hard because there's several great moments within this. But I would have to say, no one will probably think of this, but the new, the Black Panther's heir at the end. I think that was actually, because it really said there's a future to the franchise. So to me, that was the greatest.
It shut up all of the crybabies that was talking about recast T'Challa. It shut the recast T'Challa crybabies up. Yeah. When I tried to say before this movie ever came out, there's no way